gonna take like 5 minutes, and that's it. And if somebody wants to time me, someone here, when I'm at like 4:50, just raise your hand, and I'm gonna wrap up and get out of here. All right. Thank you. So I'm really, really excited. I'm so honored to be around scientists and supporters of scientists. So I want to have a conversation with you guys. Like I said, a very short 5-minute conversation with you guys on why I don't really like to have this conversation. So I know you're probably wondering, why is she talking if she doesn't like to have this conversation? So let me be real. Being around and knowing that I'm around people who are doing some of the most important work in the world is actually very, very intimidating. Yes, I'm a scientist myself, but to know that every one of you here is part of this group of people that's committed to finding solutions to some of the world's problems is really, really, really intimidating. I just want to be honest and put it out there. So I want to tell you guys a little bit of a story. And then from there, I'm going to go ahead and close so that we can have another speaker and move on with the march. But I really am not sure when this very uncomfortable relationship that I have with science started. I've asked myself several times, when did I become so uncomfortable recognizing myself as a scientist? I'm not sure if it started at my socialization as a girl child in an American classroom, not necessarily encouraged to be a physicist. Or I'm not sure if it's just something that doesn't naturally speak to me as a person. But I know that growing up in my adulthood, it's still a subject that makes me feel uneasy. I do science every day, absolutely. But if somebody asks me, are you a scientist? It's going to take me a little bit of more than a second to answer them. So even when I was invited to talk here today, my natural inclination was going to be to say no. Because, what do I talk about when I talk about science? But the truth of the matter is that is the reason why all of us are here today. There are a lot of people in the world who do not understand what science is. There are a lot of people in the world who walk around with the assumption that only the life and natural sciences are the real sciences. So we grow up with the assumption that chemistry is science, that physics is science, that biology, astrology, those are the real sciences. And God knows I skipped so many of my chemistry classes. I have no idea how I passed college. So the whole point is we grow up with this fear for science, when in reality, as we've been talking about all morning, all of us are scientists. As long as all of us are scientists. That's absolutely right. As long as we've made a commitment to find solutions to the world's problems, we are indeed scientists. So going back to this conversation I have with myself, I realized one day that my asking myself all these questions is actually a scientific process. All of us know when we do research, those are the questions that we have to ask ourselves. So there is no one here who can stand up and say that I am not a scientist. But the question that I continue to ask myself over and over again is, why do I do the science that I do? Why does my science matter? Why does your science matter? Because it's only when we know why our science matters that we can be in a place like this to stand up for science. If we don't know why our science matters, we cannot stand up and defend science. So when the world is saying there is no such thing as climate change, it's only us who know why we do science who can stand up and say, actually, my friend, climate change is very real, and these are the scientific facts. I'm not sure how I'm doing at this time, but I want to go ahead and quickly, what do I have?
4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Look at, thank you. Okay, so I got 30 seconds. So let's see how I can make this in 30 seconds. But as a social scientist, a proud social scientist who works, yes, Dr. Scientist, we're also scientists, that's right. As a proud social scientist who works in gender issues, who works in sociology. Yes! That's right. My science matters because I know that through my research, men and women across the world can have the opportunity to have a better tomorrow. I know that my science matters because when I work in development studies, we find solutions to some of the issues that we every day talk about. I know that my science matters because policy depends on my ability to do good science. Without good science, we can't create solutions to the world. So why does your science matter? Understand why your science matters. And know that my science matters, your science matters, our science matters. And today we are here because science matters. Thank you.